Hello friends, welcome to Insight Learners. So in this video we shall discuss the bitwise, that is the section Spring Boot and Spring. So basically there will be 15 MCQ questions and we shall quickly see the first MCQ question. So the first question is, which annotation you use to specify a before device? In order to specify a before device, which annotation do you use? So the options are add before run, add before execute or exec, add before, add pre-execute, so add before advise. So for the to specify an annotation for before device, we use add before. So you can say the correct answer for this question is option C is the correct answer for this question, which is add before. So add before is the annotation which is used to specify a before device. So similarly, the second question, which entry in the pom.xml file correctly adds an embedded database into your Spring Boot project? So these are the options. So there are four options. One is, the first thing is dependency, then which includes an attribute group ID, and then so this is the link, that is com.h2 database and embedded. And here is the end of the dependency. So similarly, the second question, so which has com.database followed by h2. Then after that, the third one is again com.embedded. So here they have told you need to add an embedded database into your Spring Boot project. So you can say the option D, that is group ID. So com.h2 database followed by the database is h2. Here it is com.h2 database and it should be embedded in a Spring Boot project. So you use h2. So you can say the correct syntax, and the correct answer for this, for the second question is, that is option D is the correct answer for this question. That is, you're going to include within the dependency com.h2 database and then you're going to embed the h2, then end it. So next, third question is, how will you interface the send email notification in case of errors? So in case of Spring Boot project or Spring, if there is an error in an email, so there are no such methods like notify error or error notifier. So if there is an error in the mail, then you're going to go to the mail and then you're going to edit that mail and then you're going to update it. So there is no methods like notify error or error notifier. So you can say the correct answer for this question is none of the above mentioned. So option D. So next one is the fourth question. What is the most preferred packaging style for a Spring Boot application? So the preferred style, example var, bean, jar and year. So year cannot be the option and var cannot be the option. Remaining is bean and jar. So for packaging you use jar. So whenever there is a word packaging, you can say that the correct answer for this question is jar. So jar, that is option C is the correct answer for this question. That is jar it's one of the preferred packaging type for Spring Boot application. So next one is the fifth question. Which JSR 250 applications are preferred for implementing post-construction and pre-container removal lifecycle callbacks? So in this case, there are only two methods that are used for pre-construction and pre-container in JSR 250. The one is the post-construct and the second one is the pre-destroy. So first you destroy, then you construct. So there are only two methods, that is pre-construct and pre-destroy. So you can say the answer for the fifth question is option C, that is post-construct and pre-destroy. So next one is the sixth question. Which of the following dependency is used by Spring Boot web applications? So the Spring Boot web application, it uses Spring Boot Starter Web. That is option D is the correct answer for this question. It uses the Spring Boot Starter Web. The next thing is, if you want to import the spring.jpa hibernate.ddl auto dependency and if you want to create a repository file called book repository, so which code is needed inside this file? So everything is same, just you are going to, so whether you will use the public repository, book repository, extend JPA repository of, or whether you use class, only keywords are different, whether you use repository, class, interface or void. So when you want to code inside this file And if you want to create a repository, you cannot use repository, you cannot use class, and you cannot use void. So remaining option is interface, which is used to create a repository file called, it will create a repository. So public interface book repository, and which should extend the JPA repository. So the correct answer for the 7th question is option C is the correct answer for the 7th question. So next one is the 8th question. Do you want to demo security features using the Spring Security Starter option? So which attribute is enabled by default? Whether you use MDS hashing, so there is no concept of MDS hashing. Passwords, so nowadays even the passwords are they do not give many security issues. So next thing is form-based authentication. So those are all the old versions of providing the security features. And now for Spring Boot Security Starter option, there is an OAuth 2 server support. So OAuth 2 server support, which provides a two-way authentication. So you can say the correct answer for this question is the option B is the correct answer for 8th question. So next one is the 9th question. Which JDBC template method do you use to execute an SQL insert, update or delete statement? And you need to capture the number of affected rows. To capture the number of affected rows, there is only one, that is update. So with the help of update, you can either capture the number of affected rows or you can change it. So you can say the answer for the 9th question is option B, which is update. So next thing is the 10th question. In a JDBC template instance, which syntax do you use for choosing the values from a database using bind variables? So for choosing, you will select, select first name, last name, comma, postcode from the name of the table is customers, where ID is equal to. So for defining bind variables, we use, that is colon followed by the customer underscore number, that is the row name. So this is the syntax. So in the options there may be different table name, and you can choose, if there is a bind variable, there will be colon followed by the attribute name. So next thing is the 11th question. Which statement is false about the statelessness? So the 11th question. Perform validation of all the inputs on the server from SQL injection attacks, and each and every method requests are treated independently. So in statelessness, each and every method requests are treated independently, and it also works with HTTP protocol and also shares the features of being statelessness. And application design is simplified if it is statelessness, and it does not maintain the client's previous interaction. So all the three options are correct. So they are told false. You can say perform validation of all the inputs, that is option A is the false option from all the four. So option A is the correct answer for the 11th question. So next thing is the 12th question. Which of the following is false regarding? So whether RESTful web services and the services that are built according to OData principles. Then next thing is SOAP client works like a custom desktop application, and it is tightly coupled to the server. So this is true, because SOAP client, it works with like a desktop application and it is tightly coupled. And next thing is that JAX RS provides support for creating web services according to REST architecture. This is also correct. And REST is an architectural style and it is not a toolkit. So this is also correct. And the remaining option is RESTful web services. They prefer the implementation of OData, but they are not built according to OData principles. So you can say the 12th answer for the question is option A is the correct answer for the 12th question. Next thing is the 13th question. What is caching mechanism? So caching, it's a process of storing the server response at the client side. It is not the process of storing the client data at the client end, or storing server response at the server end, or fetching the data from the server. So it is the process of storing the server response at the client end is called as caching. You can say the option is the correct answer for the 13th question. Next, 14th question. Which of the following component of HTTP response indicates server status for the requested resource? So the HTTP version is not the correct answer, response body or response header. So these are all the components of HTTP, but they have told which indicates the server status. So for server status, you can say status or response code. So answer for the 14th question is option B. So then last question, 15th question, for designing a secure RESTful web service, what is the factor that should be followed? So whether you need to perform user session based authentication whenever a request is successful. So second thing is to perform validation of all the output on the server from the SQL injection attacks. HTTP generic error message should not be involved, and methods like get, put, delete, etc. should be used with proper restriction. So main thing for designing RESTful web service, the factor is that you need to perform user session based authentication whenever a request is successful. So you can say the answer for the 15th question is option A is the correct answer. So in this video we have discussed all the 15 questions that will be asked in the Bitwise. So these are the questions asked in the part that is section Spring Boot and Spring. So you may get few repeated questions or some questions will be different, but not exactly all the questions will be same. So many of the questions are repeated. So thank you friends for watching, and do subscribe our channel for more updates.